Sup, guys? You wanna play some games?
Oh man, has this been one heck of a week. Hello everybody and welcome back to Noia Dev, the series that aims to prove that one developer can create a successful MMORPG. My name is Dane and this week on Noia Dev we're gonna go over what happened on the alpha launch. Let's get into this. First, I just want to give a massive thank you to all of you guys who came out on launch day and played with me on Noia. It was amazing to see everybody logging in at the same time. Everybody was super helpful in tracking down bugs and testing things and really hammering different parts of the game as hard as they possibly could to essentially do what you do in an alpha, break things. And I'm going to go over here a couple of the things that we found and what was fixed, what new features have been added in this past couple of weeks, and what the future of Noia is from here. One of the funnier bugs, well, not really a bug, but it was a feature that got left on, PvP was still enabled, and it was funny because even members of the same group were able to target each other accidentally and just destroy each other and send each other back to the beginning of the map. Aside from that, the biggest bug that we encountered on the alpha launch was that kill quests, when accepted, crashed the database. It didn't crash the server, but it brought down the database and made character saving impossible. So for a while there, progress was not being saved. One of my favorite ones here was that healing yourself or others caused any monster that you had previously interacted with to immediately draw aggro to you, no matter where that monster is in the map. So you would see people healing in town and a spider web of aggro lines suddenly connect to them as if all the monsters in the entire area were coming to kick their butt. Now this was a random one. Chat would randomly open when you were walking left. Only left. Something to do with when you opened a UI window and then walked left, chat would open up, causing you to not be able to walk anymore and to spam, A in the chat. This happened also with arrow keys. We don't exactly know why it happened, but disabling the navigation field on the Text Mesh Pro input field on chat seems to have solved this problem. This bug on the equipment die window was kind of funny. If a certain piece of equipment was not visible from a specific angle, like let's say the string on the shirt here was not visible from, the side or the back, it would spam the entire window with the color that you had selected. Part of my debugging on channeled and charged abilities was I had to switch items from being drag from left click to drag to right click, otherwise it was spamming the console with errors, and I forgot to flip those back. So, sorry for the confusion on that one. Everything is back to left click to drag now. This one was fun. All music and NPCs would reset anytime a new player logged in. I failed to take into account that I needed to make sure that the player that was logging in was the local player, and instead, anytime any player logged in, it would reset the music for everybody on the map. Sound effects ignored volume settings entirely. You would hear people casting lightning bolts from anywhere in the map. Tab targeting was broken because you would attempt to tab target a monster who was either dead or destroyed by the network server, and the client would attempt to tab target it again and crash. There was a slew of animation index not found errors. This was mainly because there were no animations created for some of these attacks, and so while it wouldn't cause a crash, there would be a giant spam of yellow warnings in the game console whenever somebody used a skill that didn't have an animation tied to it. The right click on player to inspect window would never go away if you didn't click on one of those options. So if you right-clicked on a player and then they ran off and got out of range, all of the buttons would gray out, and then you could never close that window until you right-clicked on another player. NPC dialogue was not progressing properly based on completed quests. That was just my own fault. I left a debug loop in there, and so once I cleared that out, NPCs were talking to you properly based on the quests that you'd completed for them. So one of the new features that was added is actually UI scaling. You can now find that under the preferences area of the UI. It's still not saving. When you close the client and reopen it, it gets reset back to 1. But there have been a couple people who accidentally scale it all the way up to 10 and then aren't able to close it. I'm gonna implement a hotkey for up and down UI scaling in the future here, so look out for that. All you guys with the 4K monitors out there, now you can actually see the UI. Currently, the way skills give EXP, specifically buffs, the buff must be a brand new buff to the player. So let's say you're buffing someone with Noom here, and they have 10 seconds left on the buff. If you refresh the buff before it hits 0, you get 0 EXP. That is going to change, and it is now going to award XP based on how much time was left when you refresh the buff. We now have alerts that you have leveled up or your weapons have leveled up. However, there's nothing indicating that, hey, you need to open up your stat window and apply your points. So I am going to make a little blinking like arrow or something to your stat window so you know to do that. I plan on implementing a quest tracker window off to the side, just a tiny little window that'll indicate you have this quest and these are the objectives for that quest, and this is your progress on said objectives, so that you don't have to constantly be opening up your quest window all the time. I plan on implementing a couple of new circles for the targeting reticle, whether you're targeting an NPC, whether you're targeting a monster, or whether you're just moving, so it's easier to tell what you're doing and it's not just circle on ground. Also, there will be a change in the target window, the title window, so you will know what level of monster you're clicking on, as well as if that monster is group or solo content based on how the bar looks. We were given an anonymous donation of art by a fan of the game. All of these new hairstyles were given to us. In the future, if you provide art to Noia, whether it is paid for by commission or donated, your name will go on that piece of art. In the tooltip, there will be a art by so-and-so listed there, but this person wanted to remain anonymous, and so they will. But just know all art provided by anyone other than me will be credited appropriately in the game. As of recording this audio, these are the server's current stats. We have over 300 new accounts created, over 650 quests have been completed, and over 17,400 monsters have been killed. But that's it for this week. I've got to get back to work. I really want to get some cutscenes put into the game, the starting cutscene as well as the player's escape from the underworld cutscene with Morb. I do have the Queen sprite in hand. There's still some animation work to be done on it by the artist, but once that's in, I have one other boss sprite that needs to be made for the first real boss fight of Noia, and then the player will be able to escape the underworld. So, look forward to that, and we'll see you next time. Bye.